trained B-17 crews here before they sent them to war. Now the same concrete tests a different kind of machine. Sebring isn't smooth. It isn't forgiving.
And it was never meant to be. Every crack, every seam, every brutal bump through turn 17 reminds you exactly where you are. A track built on history, a surface that demands respect. 2026 NASA Championships, powered by Hoosier. Sebring International Raceway. Make your mark on history.
She's got a megaphone in her hand, black boots on the street. She's got traction, she's got friction, she's bringing the heat.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to one of the most iconic circuits in all of motorsports. It's Sebring International Raceway for tonight's NASA Texas Scott Adams Driver Development Sim Series, and tonight we feature the Toyota GR86 Cup cars. I'm Sean Stam, and tonight on Stam Studio Network, we're glad to have you joined us here for what promises to be an outstanding one-hour battle around this historic and notoriously unforgiving airfield circuit. I appreciate you all joining in out here tonight, as well as our sponsors and affiliates rolling their way top side of the screen. Now they're front and middle of it all. Black Underwear. Let us handle the underwear with our number one boxer briefs. Brunson Motorsports engine and vehicle accessories, apparel, and more, and both on-track action. Ottoline Motorsport, that's high-performance driving school at Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. All experience levels are welcome. TRB Autosport, we provide top-tier vehicle expert support and exhilarating race experience at any Trans Am by Pirelli or SCCA club event. Of course, SimShop.com, creating a real driving feel through direct drive wheelbases and more. Full metal construction, SimShop.com. Speedcom Communications, that's the leading supplier in all of motorsport radio communications, providing in a wide range of products including headsets, helmet kits, wiring harnesses, and more. Velocity Sim Racing outside of Houston, that's eat, drink, and race at Houston's only sim racing destination with the best simulators. And of course, Scott Adams Driver Development, turning drivers into champions both on and off the virtual racetrack. And to round us out, NASA Texas, Texas's premier sports car racing and high performance driving, HPD classes and above, specializing in IRL racing, coaching, and data-driven performance. Now with all of our sponsors and affiliates outside and out of the way, we can take a look at a little bit more trackside action tonight. We'll take a look at the point standings heading into Sebring International. Now, there has been a little bit of a switch up within the point standings. Shout out to Dan Parmalee. That's Parmesan letting me know here before it. He let me know refresh my scoreboard graphic for tonight. Made a significant change within the scoring system. And that was just to award more point standings for the fastest lap and some small other things. I mean, there you see it, Scott Adams. He's still within the race lead within the point standings. But Anthony Nguyen, he's right there. So is Jared Audrick, Billy Smith II, and Andreas Rafana. This is, I mean, honestly, sir, it honestly helps those people who can't quite make it every single week. Daniel Parmalee, one of the drivers who is able to make it every single week, still searching for race win number 1 on the season, just a few points behind Parmalee, a few points behind Profana within that 5th place position. Patrick Brunson, Chase Garner, Aaron Myers, and Corey Elliott rounding out the top 10 in the points. Now, as we cut live to virtual trackside action, once again, appreciate you all out there joining on this wonderful Tuesday evening. We'll take a look at our race information and what's to come tonight. It's live from the virtual Sebring International Raceway. Very bumpy, very treacherous road course. Thankfully, the track temp at only 87 degrees Fahrenheit, with the air temp at about 10 degrees lower than that, 78 degrees Fahrenheit there. We're going to rock, we're going to roll. It's going to be a 2-mile-per-hour wind to the north with our dry surface. No precipitation out here within the next 1 hour. 0 additional tire sets. Fast repairs, they are unlimited, but with those fast repairs, you got to remember, we will have that stage break at about every 25 minutes time. So we're going to re-rack, we're going to restack this whole field 2 times tonight within this 1 hour long event. And up here in the booth, there you see it. It's me, myself, and I, Sean Stam, producing, directing, and commentating the show, making sure things go smoothly out there within the graphics, within the camera shots, and back up here behind the mic. Appreciate GT Eddie and Ted for already joining out there within YouTube land. GT Eddie, how about Edwin Onofre? He was fighting for his right to party out there within virtual sim racing land last week. Edwin Onofre, after battling out there with Blake Town in, Edwin Onofre only able to come away with the P2 position, but after Edwin Onofre's lights out pace after that 8-hour qualifying session, Onofre, he was one of the fastest drivers within practice. Another faster driver within practice, it's Robert Schweckler, but unfortunately Robert Schweckler, he's going to start out there within the pits. We'll take a look at our starting grid tonight, brought to you by Stam Studio Network, and as well as our sponsors and affiliates up within the top right side of the screen. There you see it. It's GT Eddie himself, Edwin Onofre, who slaps it on the pole. Robert Schweckler, this is interesting. Him and I go back up there a long ways from back and behind the scenes. Robert, I really appreciate for each and everything that you've done for me back in here behind the scenes. But now Robert Schweckler back and behind the race wheel. We'll see what he can do. The outside of row number 1, well, which where he would have started, but Robert Schweckler starts P16. You got Christopher Bermudez, Anthony Nguyen. We've seen this driver with so much pace this season. Outside row of row number 2. Row number 3 belongs to Mike Barras. It's the pop in the shop as well. There you see the man, the myth, the legend, all of the above. Look out, Marie. Marie closed the eyeballs on this race. 3 starts. It's going to get wild, on the start. Scott Adams, he'll start P6. We'll have Patrick Brunson out of U.S. Money Reserve and Daniel Parmalee and the Halboro Gummy Bears paint scheme machine. That'll be row number 4. Row number 5 belongs to Billy Smith II. Billy Smith II still searching for a couple of race wins on the season. Corey Elliott out there on the track as well. He'll start P10, about 5th row back. Row number 6 belongs to Mike Iacino and Andreas Profana. Andreas Profana, look at that little Dynaco X Lightning McQueen paint scheme on his Toyota GR86 Cup car. All these Toyota GR86 Cup cars coming in on board with 220 brake horsepower. David Finkelstein, James Lopez, as well as AJ McAllister. We'll have Mark Curley rounding out row number 8. Drivers working their way on that back straightaway, getting ready to drop the green flag racing on a whole 1 hour's worth. Drivers 16th and 17th, well, it belongs to Robert Schweckler and James Lopez. We'll see if those drivers get to taking the green flag out here once this iRacing safety pace car makes its way into the virtual safety of pit lane. Here comes Edwin Onofre and Anthony Nguyen out here outside of Sunset to start our 1 hour long event out here tonight. We continue to crest our way throughout this season, and what a season it's been in NASA, Texas, Scott Adams Driver Development Sim Series. There you'll see that iRacing safety pace car. He says goodbye as the field says hello to green flag racing at Sebring International Raceway. It's gonna as it's still Edwin Onofre and Christopher Bermudez. Patrick Brunson now running in the 1-2-3. Anthony Nguyen now up to P4. As far as positions gained out there on the race restarts, how about Patrick Brunson, the U.S. Money Reserve Toyota GR86 already up within P3. Billy Smith II kind of following in suit out there. Here comes Billy Smith. He's also gained +4 spots up to P5 after starting P9. Now we're continuing to work our way within kind of the first half of this opening lap out here at Sebring International. You're going to see these drivers out here start to feel to their cars just a little bit more. Their tire temps, their tire pressures all starting to come up here at this first lap of racing. Now we'll take a quick look at this race restart here in just a few moments time, but it's all single file running out there from about the top 9 and top 10 positions. Here comes Andreas Grafana in that Cars X Cars paint scheme, driver number 21. Andreas Grafana, how about this driver 21? It's the Italian who has been here. It's done that. Andreas, of course, with more than he's sitting well then up within the point standings, about P5 within those point standings. We'll see how fast he is able to head it up here within Sunset. It's a hole about 120 miles per hour all the way down until about 70 miles per hour. It's bumpy there. Luckily, the sun's not into the eyes. Andreas Grafana, nice corner exit there. He'll be able to close the gap over Scott Adams. Battles for P9, P10 on this opening lap of the race. See what heads out there within turn 1. Andreas Grafana still going to try to just hit that corner apex out there, keep it as close as he can within that the concrete wall out there on his left side. He'll go just a little bit wide. He'll drop there just 2 to 3 tenths back. Andreas Grafana still doing an immaculate job at holding off Christopher Bermudez right now for the race lead, but not so fast, says Christopher Bermudez. He's still sitting about that 3 tenths of a second back. Don't look now, but here comes Billy Smith the second. Patrick Brunson as well. They only sit about 1 second back from this battle for the race lead. Now things that do start to single file out there just a little bit more out there within the racetrack. Here's a quick look at the drop of the green flag, and look at it. There's Edwin Onofre up front. He's got Christopher Bermudez on the well, back and behind him there. As here it comes 2 and 3, and looking to start to set 4 wide, setting up here within turn number 1. It was a great start out here within kind of the whole front pack, whole kind of rear pack as well. 3 wide out there. Grafana in the meat of the sandwich between Finkelstein, I believe that's AJ McAllister. Whoa, and then there goes the contact. From that contact on, we had lost a brief bit of communication out there within the iRacing sim racing universe. But back out here within this battle for the race lead, Christopher Bermudez, Edwin Onofre. It's still single file running out there from back and behind. But how about Edwin Onofre? He continues to look to go what would have been back-to-back if it went from Blake Town End within his immaculate pace 1 week ago from Road Atlanta. Edwin Onofre joining us within our Stam Studio Network live YouTube chat earlier on. He says that he is ready to race. And look at him, he's turning the GR86 into a lawnmower out there on the back straightaway. He is here to race. Edwin Onofre, race leader by 4 tenths of a second. This time, working their way within Sunset. There goes Patrick Brunson, P4 spot. There's Anthony Nguyen. Anthony, he loses spots at the drop of the green flag, but he continues to run right there in within this front 1 to 4th battle. David Finkelstein there. You see new fastest lap on the bottom right side of the screen. Keep an eye on that. That's some more extra points there. Now it's Daniel Parmalee. Parmalee with the fastest lap of the race. Extra points headed his way. Now belongs to Christopher Bermudez. Why does that continue to update? Because we continue to see on that long back straightaway there's a lot of bit of slipstream. There's a bit of draft to be broken, and right there you see it, well, at least that time by for Billy Smith II, driver number 70, fastest lap of the race, putting down a 2:21.7 when the race leader's last lap by put down a 2:22.4. This is lights out pace right now for Billy Smith. Hopping on board outside of turn number 5 there, Billy Smith. He's going to put his foot right back out into the asphalt and probably try to force it through the floorboard there as he continues to try and gain this battle here for the race lead. Not only is this race lead starting to heat up as well, but we're starting to see battles here for 4th and 5th. That's Patrick Brunson. That's a real-life Toyota GR86 Cup car driver. Man, talk about the speed, talk about the pace here within virtual race world. No, let's do the opposite. It's all real-life racing world up there for Patrick Brunson. As we hop on board with Anthony Nguyen. Anthony Nguyen, he's going to have a nice run out there. The U.S. Money Reserve Toyota GR86 machine. And Patrick Brunson tries to go back into battle out there on corner exit, but making their way up there through turn 7, turn 8. This is the really where you don't want to be running side by side, because there you can see it. There, Patrick Brunson and Anthony Nguyen losing there just a little bit more track position over P3. Unfortunately, since the drop of the green flag, we have had 1 or 2 drivers go off the racetrack. Here's going to be a quick race replay. This is David Finkelstein. This is outside of... Oh, man! What did the left rear tires just get up within the tire, within the off of the racetrack there? And take a look at this race replay again out here for David. It's right when those left side tires get up there on it and the 3D rendered rumble strips. How much does a 3D rendered track out here matter within iRacing? I think that's just to show you right there, David. Just it only took 2 tires to go out there and catch the gravel. Next thing you know, he goes out, down, and around. This is hopping on board with battle between Mark Curley, Corey Elliott, Mike Iacino, AJ McAllister also there as well. Really about there between Curley, Elliott, and Iacino. Battles for 11th, 12th, and 13th position. Now hopping on board here with Mike Iacino as he is now the meat of the sandwich. Let's see what his line looks like here within turn 1. There you want to do just as Mike Iacino did. Scott Adams driver development probably teaching him that one there. Just clip off kind of that left side mirror going into that turn, apex of turns 1 and 2 out there within the big old cone up there on the catch fence up there, and Mike Iacino doing just that. He'll close a little bit more of that gap now up into the P11 of Corey Elliott. It's still Edwin Onofre, Christopher Bermudez, and Billy Smith II. 8 minutes down, 12 minutes to go until our first competition caution. Out here within this front 3, it's still a 1.82 second gap now that separate Anthony Nguyen and Patrick Brunson. Here comes Patrick Brunson again under heavy artillery fire over that Anthony Nguyen machine. Anthony Nguyen, he was once again able to make that pass happen for that P4 spot. As we disco ball our way back down here heading back within turn 7, Patrick Brunson, he's got to just get cool. He's got to just get calm, get back collected out here from back in behind the race wheel, and especially within that long back straightaway. Anthony Nguyen, that Toyota GR86, the only 220 brake horsepower machine. Man, you're going to see him poke such a huge hole within the air. Does Patrick Brunson, though, use the teamwork to make the dream work, or does he use that slipstream to make this pass happen for that 4th running spot? Remember, this time 11 minutes ago to competition yellow. On there at that U.S. Money Reserve gold and black Toyota GR86 Cup car. Here comes Patrick Brunson. Watch him. He's going to continue to close this gap out here going within Sunset. It's 16. It's 17. It's another 3.7 miles down. Lap after lap after lap. Patrick Brunson a little bit closer to that inside apex line out there. He will close the gap out there on that P4 running spot, but still not able to make the pass happen. Anthony Nguyen, P4, and Christopher Bermudez, P2. He sets the fastest lap of the race. Talk about cat and mouse. It has been cat and mouse out there between 3rd and 4th, but now between Bermudez and Smith II. There's that Christopher Bermudez simshop.com machine. Driver 622, Christopher Bermudez, last lap by a 2:22.49. Billy Smith II right back in behind him. He's Billy Smith II, 0.2 of a second slower, as here comes another run going back down within the hairpin within turns 5 and 6. Look at Christopher Bermudez trying to break the slipstream, trying to break the draft as he opens up the corner right back within that corner hairpin entrance. There goes Edwin Onofre continuing to, man, that gap stays about the same, but visually it looks like it is shrinking. Hopping on board with race leader now, Edwin Onofre, GT Eddie. Now, got to remember out here within NASA, Texas, and Scott Adams driver development, you do not want to miss out September 24th through 27th at this very track, Sebring International Raceway. Hey, prices are going to increase July 31st. You can register now at www.nasachamps.com. Don't miss your chance to drive on this legendary track. How about you talk about legendary track, legendary battles as well. Edwin Onofre still under heavy fire of Christopher Bermudez. Billy Smith II still there as well. And if we compare the last 5 lap times separating our P1 to P2, I think that starts to play the picture just a little bit bigger there. Here comes lap 2, lap 3, lap 4. It has been close quarter combat and not even a tenth of a part. It's hundredths apart. 400s apart there for Bermudez. Faster than Onofre on lap 2. 700s there for lap 3. 4 on lap number 4. Look at it, just about tied up there as Bermudez continues to try to make a look down into the inside line. Hopping on board now with the virtual driver eye camera shot. Look at Bermudez. His virtual eyes are focused on the track and up in front of him, as well as on that rear view bumper. Now on board with the virtual driver eye camera shot. This is exactly what Bermudez is seeing out there. Go diving it deep, going back there within turn 1. It is off that turn 1 wall. Edwin Onofre continues to be alive by about 0.2 of a second, but that gap continuing to shrink lap after lap after lap. Not only is this battle for the race lead continue to heat up, Daniel Parmelee, Andreas Profano, Mike Barras, Mark Curley, that's 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. You can see out there on timing and scorings. Also some orange there, as that's to show just how close quarter combat those battles are as well. We continue to crest our way around out there, this NASA Texas Scott Adams Driver Development Sim Series, and we can continue to see these battles out here on the racetrack that continue to crest out. We've got Scott Adams, Anthony Wynn, Jared Audrick, who are in the 1, 2, 3 within the point standings, but don't look now. Even though you got Smith, Andreas Profana, and Parmelee within 4th, 5th, and 6th, hopping on board with Parmelee now, seeing what he's got left within the mental and physical tank. Excuse me, Profana, and hopping on board with Profana now, as he's got Parmelee up and in front of him. Not only is it Parmelee up and in front of Profana, but also our man, the myth, and the legend himself. It's Scott Adams, of that Scott Adams driver development machine. He's worked his way all the way up now within that 6th running position. This is that battle for P6 on back. Scott Adams, Daniel Parmelee, friends on the racetrack, friends off of the racetrack, or vice versa there. Here comes Andreas Profana, and that's Cars Machine, 21 versus 99. It's Harborough versus Cars. He had that kind of crossover lineup there for Profana. It's going to be Door, it's going to be Quarter, and right back in what was clear for that Andreas Profana machine, but not quite. Not so fast, my friend, says Daniel Parmelee out of Le Mans. Here comes Parmelee backing into P7. Both of this kind of double meet of the sandwich, the gabagool, if you will. Scott Adams up there in P6, and Mike Barras right back in behind this battle out there for P9. Fastest lap of the racetrack that time by goes to David Finkelstein as Edwin Onofre, Christopher Bermudez, Billy Smith II. About 5.5 more minutes to go till our first competition yellow. Now you got to be careful out here, I think, for the race leader and for here for P2, as not only for Billy Smith II, who has worked his way, sliced, diced up and into P3. If you focus your attention within the left side of timing and scoring, that's going to be how many positions your favorite driver gained since the drop of the green flag. There you see Billy Smith II, 6 spots gained. Patrick Brunson 2, Andreas Profana 5. There's still a long way to go. There's still a long time to get there, and well within the track temps and track conditions out here tonight. I think that's going to be another thing that we're going to have to keep an eyeball on. Sure, it was kind of cool, calm, and collected conditions out there within the start of the drop of the green flag, but this track continues to take out there and into the heat and into the battle. Look at that, 3 wide going into the hairpin there. It's going to Mike Barras who gets the worst of that sandwich. He'll get the crumbs. Andreas Profana at least with up back within P8. Daniel Parmelee, though, he's keeping his foot planted on that throttle pedal. Quick look race replay here, 3 wide. Have you ever? A rare occurrence out here at Sebring. 2 tires up and off of the racetrack there for Profana as he tried to give the room. Parmelee actually goes 4 tires up and off of the racetrack, giving even more room that kind of necessary, I would say. Here's another look at it, man. Oh, and it was definitely contact there. I'm surprised that wasn't a slowdown, or if it was a slowdown. Daniel Parmelee already giving it back and still up there within that P7 spot. How about Daniel Parmelee? We got to shout him out. Parmesan cheese 1 week ago. It was kind of out there within the first couple laps of the race. Not the race that he was looking for. He got spun out there and around, and already it wasn't necessarily even within those competition caution flags either. He had worked his way and finished up there within that let's see. within that top 5 spot out there. So Profana continuing to impress, especially in these lighter horsepower, these lighter weight Toyota GR86 Cup cars. 4 minutes, called it 3 minutes left to go out here within our first stage break caution. Edwin Onofre, Christopher Bermudez, Billy Smith II. Here comes Anthony Wynn, exactly where he started, but closing down on this front running pack. So Edwin Onofre, he's obviously got more defense in the tank right now than compared to offense, but stay out there within this race restart after they are smacked out there right back in within one another. I believe it will be a single file race restart, but when do you go, Edwin? Is it going to be earlier? Is it going to be later within the run? Is it going to be just when do you go to try to find a little bit of a gap out there between Christopher Bermudez? Bermudez right now, this is the thing about Sebring International Raceway, right? It's not necessarily so much trying to make a move happen into the inside line, but it's more so just kind of waiting for your time to strike, I believe. Christopher Bermudez, he continues to sit about that 3/10 of a second back and behind Edwin Onofre, but Edwin Onofre, he's just not slipping up. He's not giving up that battle for the race lead. Billy Smith II, his last lap by was a 222.59. Christopher Bermudez, though, a 222.49. 1/10 of a second that separate P2 and NP3. And how about the last 5 laps again for the front 2? It's front 3, 4th, and 5th lap. A little bit faster for Bermudez, but here comes 6th, and here comes 7th. It's still just about tied out there for Bermudez. Bermudez, he has continued to impress here tonight within the Scott Adams Driver Development NASA Texas Sim Series race. And out here on Stam Studio Network, myself up here behind the scenes, Sean Stam directing, producing, commentating this show. I don't know if I have ever. Christopher Bermudez continues to dive it out there on the inside, just not necessarily close enough to make the move happen. Ooh, Mark Curley is given a slowdown penalty here as he's going to make his way back out there out of Le Mans. That is where you do not want a slowdown penalty. The most important corner, I would say, out there at this racetrack. Drivers making their way back and around there into Sunset. There's Mark Curley and AJ McAllister right back in behind him. Battles for 12th, 13th here, continuing to heat up, continuing to ensue as we got Mike Burris heading down there within virtual pit lane. There you see it. He's going to make his stop kind of earlier on, so I'm not sure if this is to try to get more fuel within the tank. Remember, these are open setups out here within this NASA Texas Scott Adams Driver Development Sim Series. And he's also going to go up on the invisible air jack, so a very costly, as far as time is concerned, pit stop for Mike Burris. But hey, Mike Burris, he will be able to cycle this next pit stop and on by with newer tires. I'm not sure if anybody else is going to take a pit stop, but he's going to have a little bit more back and behind his Toyota GR86 Cup car. Christopher Bermudez, Billy Smith II, Anthony Nguyen, Patrick Brunson, that's 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, still doing everything that they can to try to chase down race leader Edwin Onofre. Interesting brake pressure out there going on for Christopher Bermudez. It really wasn't like a trail brake out there, but it's more just kind of a stop on it and try to hope that the front end does for it as you wish for it as a driver. We also have David Finkelstein within pit lane as well. Christopher Bermudez continues to close that gap to the race lead, but still not able to make the pass actually happen. Out there on Stam Studio Network, 4 minutes to go till our first competition yellow. Really quick, we're going to take the sights and sounds out here live from Sebring International Raceway. Join us right back up here in the booth. Alrighty, so you can crank it back up, and I believe we're going to throw this competition caution just a little bit early because, man, that's just how that's how tight our things are out here within this virtual fuel tank. We've already seen 1, 2, 3, 4 different drivers within virtual pit lane, and that's because they knew that they were running out of fuel out there within their hands. Hopping on board here with Kristen Janicki there. She goes a little bit wide out there outside the turn. I believe that's going to be 9, 10 ahead, or 14, 15 there for Kristen. And then after this lap, I believe she's going to make her way down within virtual pit lane. Out there within, right back in before, we're going to re-rack him and restack him. We've also had Mike Barras. He went off the racetrack up there, and this was as Mike was continuing to close out there within on this battle. Well, after it actually slowed him and mowed them all back down 3 wide there, but it's not for pace. It's not poor place because we're going to get them slowed and all bow down there right after they enter, I believe, hairpin. Actually, take that back. I think that they still are doing battle right there. Yeah, they are doing battle, and that's the race replay that we saw from earlier on out there when Daniel Parmalee made that, I mean, gutsy move back around that inside line. Nice move out there for Parmalee is back within here into live pacing, not racing action. Edwin Onofre, Christopher Bermudez, Anthony Nguyen. That's 1, 2, 3. Patrick Brunson, he's up within P4. Scott Adams, Andreas Brafana, Daniel Parmalee, Corey Elliott, Mike Iacino, and AJ McAllister. They're running at the top 10. A huge thank you to everybody joining out there tonight within virtual YouTube land, spending your Tuesday nights out here with us. See Christopher Bermudez. he's on there on the race wheel trying to send it left, right, back, center. Work some tire temps, work some tire pressures out there within these Continental Toyota GR86 machines. Also shouting out is our sponsors and affiliates out there within the top right side of the screen. Now they are right back in Incident. Of course, it's National Autosport Association of Texas Region, making champions from both on sim racing and both on and off the racetrack. HPDE classes 1, 2, 3. National Autosport Association Texas Region. Hit them up if you're looking to go sim racing to IRL racing. Of course, Scott Adams Driver Developments as well, turning both sim racing and real-life racing drivers into champions, both on and off the racetrack. Well, Scott Adams, he'll start this race restart. He worked his way 1 spot from where he qualified up within P5. Let's see what Scott Adams out here has within the virtual and the physical, the mental fuel tanks. And from back and behind the wheel, let's go back into green flag racing out here at NASA. Texas National Autosport Association of the Texas Region. We're going sim racing in the Toyota GR86 Cup cars, and back within green flag racing we go. Edwin Onofre, Christopher Bermudez, Anthony Nguyen, the 1, 2, 3. Here goes battles for the lead into 1. Christopher Bermudez, he is there. Look at him start to gain even more ground out there on corner exit compared to corner entrance. Bermudez compromised that corner entrance for that corner exit speed. He's able to get on that throttle pedal quick, fast, and in that hurry as here comes the rest of the pack, single filing their way back here through 1, turn in 3. Here comes Scott Adams, Andreas Rafana, 5th, 6th, on Daniel Parmalee. He's there for 7th as well. Making their way underneath the pedestrian bridge, Edwin Onofre still continues to lead lap after lap after lap. He's continued to lead just about all of them here tonight from Sebring International Raceway, but Christopher Bermudez is not so fast, my friend. He'll slice it, he'll dice it. He's going to send it from the next county on over from that braking zone. No contact there for the race lead, but it's starting to get tight up there within those braking zones as the 1, 2, 3 now start to get a little bit more apart from one another. 0.4 of a second back for Bermudez, 0.4 of a second back for Anthony Nguyen. Patrick Brunson, he's starting to join that 0.4 of a second back party as he's now 0.5 back. Now this is exactly what we saw, I believe, from our last race restart here. It's exactly you're going to see these drivers just kind of fall within their speed, fall within their pace, and just try to get within these opening laps that they're right back underneath their hands. We had seen earlier on the the lower tire temps, the lower tire pressures as well. It was just really compromising these drivers in terms of kind of grip and in terms of kind of what the car wants to do within corner entrance. Whether it's going to wash out there within a loose condition or cut out there on the inside line within a tighter condition. The Anthony Nguyen out there, 90 miles per hour outside of Le Mans, already working our way up into 100. Here comes working our way through the gearbox as well. Third, fourth, up and into fifth, a whole whopping 7,000 RPMs, 120 miles per hour. Here comes Anthony Nguyen. Look at him drive it so darn far deep into the inside line that he will in fact gain 2-3 car lengths in the battle for the race lead. And talk about the battle for the race lead. There's Edwin Onofre, contact with the outside wall at turn number 17. We are just approaching the halfway down and halfway margin to go. Edwin Onofre there, a little bit of contact on his side. Now we're working door to door, leaning on each other for that P2 spot. Anthony Nguyen, he's on the inside this time. It's Christopher Bermudez is out and up top. Christopher Bermudez, this is one of those drivers who we continue to see. He's not going to give that race position away without just a little bit more fight for his right to party. Bermudez, though, he's going to give that point by this time by as Anthony Nguyen just shot it out from, once again, that next county and on back. Anthony Nguyen now up to P2, Bermudez to P3. Brunson still sits pretty in gold and black, setting P4. Here comes Corey Elliott. Here comes Mike Ayacino. Daniel Parmalee in within this battle as well. Going within hairpin corner. Daniel Parmalee, he, I believe, has been one of the most fastest drivers going within the entrance of that hairpin corner. I'm not so sure about the exit. This here comes Mike Ayacino in that sim shop, NASA, Texas. Scott Adams driver development, Toyota GR86 machine. Mike Ayacino, he's looking, I mean, sitting right back within race line there as he has no chance. As look at, here comes Billy Smith II. What happened with Billy Smith II earlier on? Was he speeding down pit lane? Is there a penalty there? Unfortunately there for driver number 70 after working his way within the top 3. Smith II, he's now back within P9. And out there, after that pit stop had happened, he has only but gained position. So that allows me to believe some sort of pit speed, some sort of pit race penalty out there for Billy Smith II. That is kind of, that is, man, if Edwin Onofre knew that, that is amazing for him out there between virtual back and behind the scenes, as well as Anthony Nguyen from virtual back and behind the race wheel. Both drivers from virtual back and behind the race wheel continuing. I think they continue to sweat it out there. I'm sweating just watching this battle for the race lead continue to improve, consistent improve out here as 30 minutes down. 30 minutes to go. Still battles all out here over this racetrack. We're going to take our final crank it up out here tonight. It's Sean Stam directing, producing, commentating the show. I'll be right back out here with you. Oh no, you can crank it back down real quick out here. My goodness, my gracious, Daniel Parmalee, huge, heavy contact out there. He's going to go for even more than a slip and slide. Oh, Daniel Parmalee, this has been about the past 4 races on that number 99 Gummy Bears machine. Just sits out and outside, not even into the tire bear, but even in the outside wall that time for Daniel Parmalee. Take another look at this race replay. We were on board with them right when it happened out there, and that's exactly when it happened. It's going to be, I believe that's the number 70 there of Billy Smith II, who just gets a little bit tight on corner exit after contact with the 3D rendered rumble strips that shoots him up and into Daniel Parmalee's right rear. And then next thing here, before you know it, Daniel Parmalee, that's all he wrote as huge, huge contact. Now stick with us here at Sam Sturdy Network. We're going to do here something special after this race. Is we're going to, and I do apologize for any incidents that I do have missed, but there has been maybe 1, 2, 3 that we have missed, and out there within our next competition caution flag time in about 8 minutes time. I don't think that that's going to be enough. So stick with us out here around the end of this race, and we'll be going through every single incident from the drop of the green flag and until the checkered. But right now, back on board with the battle for the race lead, Edwin Onifrey continues to lead every single lap of this race, but time and time again here, it's going to be Christopher Bermudez starts to look down the inside, especially outside of turn number 17, starts to dig his nose deep, pause, but here he can't quite make it happen. Whoa, no, no, no! The 622 of Christopher Bermudez, he'll get turned off the front nose of Anthony Nguyen, and Anthony Bermudez, he comes off of the, Christopher Bermudez calls it off of the wall and pinballs it into into Anthony Nguyen. Contact outside of turn number 17. We still have about 2 minutes more until that competition yellow. No, no, no. Anthony Nguyen contacts there with, man, a beat and a bang, and it all goes wrong. Billy Smith the second, man, oh, you just got to hate it for both of these drivers out here as well. Taking a look here at this race replay, trying to find it really quick. Yeah, there, that was kind of right there as it was happening out there from Bermudez and that's that number 70 machine. Here's a quick look at this race replay outside of Sunset. Yeah, and I mean, there's contact there for the race lead. There's going to start to see Bermudez start to look around the outside line. There's the first little bit of contact there, and there's Bermudez pinballing it off of the inside wall, and it just shoots right back and into that 70 of Billy Smith. Excuse me, not Billy Smith the second, but of the 70 of Anthony Nguyen's hands. Excuse me, that was number 12, not 70. Anthony Nguyen involved there. So with only about 4 to 5 more minutes to go until that competition yellow. Edwin Onifrey, Patrick Brunson, Scott Adams now the 1, 2, 3. We're continuing. This race is just full of surprises here from Sebring International. Now, as I misspoke there from earlier on, look at Corey Elliott. Corey Elliott, he's going to get 2 tires up and into the air of those 3D rendered rumble strips, now hopping on board with that number 17 machine. It's the GoPro camera shot from his left front suspension. Billy Smith the second up there right in front of him. Billy Smith, he's 5 spots gained since the drop of the green and 4 spots gained out here for Corey Elliott. Corey out there here though, all he's trying to do within these final kind of 4 minutes of here within this stage, just give me 1 spot here if you can. Try to get within the inside of Billy Smith the second. Pause. I know that sounds really bad, but if you're able to, that 1 spot can really make or break you, especially within those championship points within the final few minutes of this stage number 2. Edwin Onifrey, Patrick Brunson, and Scott Adams now shown as the 1, 2, 3. Patrick Brunson, after able to not necessarily kind of muscle his way up, but just work his way up. It necessarily wasn't within too much contact earlier on, but Patrick Brunson, he surpassed Anthony Nguyen up there for about that P2, P3 spot, and now Patrick Brunson sitting now their 2nd place position. Remember, we tried to interview about our top 3 driver interview positions, and Edwin Onifrey, Patrick Brunson, and Scott Adams. Of course, a lot of the drivers out here tonight on Scott Adams Driver Development, Scott Adams Driver, God dang it, Scott Adams NASA Texas Driver Development Sim Series. Lots of them are within real life racing from back and behind the reel. Talk about real life racing. Let's exactly see how let's exactly see how Patrick Brunson was able to make this pass up there over that Anthony Nguyen machine, because we had seen Anthony Nguyen kind of one of the more defensive versus offensive kind of drivers out here. There comes that black and gold machine, Toyota GR86, back around inside line. Man, Brunson, he's just going to kind of just force his way in there. No contact giveth, no contact taketh. Patrick Brunson now up to P2. Final about 4 minutes left to go till the final stage break in the race. Edwin Onofre, Patrick Brunson, Scott Adams now running the 1, 2, 3. Right back behind them, Andreas Rafana, Billy Smith II, and Corey Elliott. Mike Barras joining that battle as well. Christopher Bermudez, Anthony Nguyen, Mike Ayacino, that'll be the top 10. AJ McAllister, Daniel Parmalee, Mark Curley, Kristen Janicki, as well as David Finkelstein, Robert Schwenkler, and James Lopez. That'll be the top 17. Remember, stick with us out here on STAM Studio Network. After the drop of the green and checkered flags, we will be interviewing what should be the top 3 drivers, as well as taking a look at every single off-track and contact event that had happened since the drop of the green flag. As we now join this battle out here live within the battle between 4th and 5th. Man, Billy Smith II not going down without Andreas Rafana saying something about it. Here comes the Italian looking for some gabagoo. Is that bad? I don't know. I'll take that back. And on seriousness though, man, Andreas Rafana, he's there. So is Corey Elliott. You saw it there on the bottom right side of the screen. I believe that'll be David Finkelstein within, I think it said pit lane. Here comes Corey Elliott though, continuing to slice. He's gonna dice that down. Not only 1 spot, but this is dicing it down 2 spots gained. If Corey Elliott is able to make at least 1 or if not 2 of these positions happen, working our way up and through hairpin, Corey Elliott, he comes into this race top 10 in the point standings. He could use a little something headed his way. Whoa, oh man, he gets loose. He had to put the steering wheel to about 90 degrees to the left, and he's going to lose all of that time that he gained on back. But so far, somehow, some way, no slowdown penalty for Corey Elliott continuing to run, and then within that 6th position, right behind 5th and 4th. Andreas Rafana running within that 5th position. Andreas Rafana, he sits 5th within the point standings. Again, one of those drivers who he has been here. He has done that, right? It's kind of been cool, calm, collected, and it's been consistency for driver number 21. He's rocking that Dinoco Cars number 21 Toyota GR86 Cup car, and whether it's Rusty's or Dinoco on the front or the rear, that's another one of those drivers. As I was just mentioning out there, it's just race after race, no matter what track, no matter what kind of track you're putting them on, flat track, a little bit more elevation, a little bit more turns and less. Andreas Rafana, one of those drivers, just again, been there, done exactly that. Edwin Onofre leads him down there, coming to the back straightaway and into the stripe out there outside of stage number 2. Patrick Brunson and Scott Adams. How about this front 1, 2, 3 podium out there for the 2nd running stage? Now, I don't think Scott Adams does just yet. Here it comes out of turn 16 and outside of turn 17. It'll be Edwin Onofre to the stripe for stage number 2. But look at Scott Adams. Scott Adams right back it up within P2. This could have huge race start implications within the final stage of this race. Patrick Brunson, he'll fall back within P3, 3 wide across the stripe for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Billy Smith II, he'll get 4th. Corey Elliott and Andreas Rafana, they're battling out there for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Christopher Bermudez, Anthony Nguyen, Mike Ayacino, that's the top 10. AJ McAllister, Mark Curley, Daniel Parmalee, Kristen Janicki, David Finkelstein, Robert Schwenkler, and James Lopez, rounding out our top 17. Stick with us out here on STAM Studio Network. We'll be right back here with you from one of our words from one of our sponsors and affiliates.
They trained B-17 crews here before they sent them to war. Now the same concrete tests a different kind of machine. Sebring isn't smooth. It isn't forgiving.
And it was never meant to be. Every crack, every seam, every brutal bump through turn 17 reminds you exactly where you are. A track built on history, a surface that demands respect. 2026 NASA Championships, powered by Hoosier. Sebring International Raceway. Make your mark on history.
She's got a megaphone in her hand, black boots on the street. She's got traction, she's got friction, she's bringing the heat.
Welcome back here on STAM Studio Network. It's Sean Stam directing, producing, and commentating the show. As we get going back out here within Green Flag Racing, hey, you got to remember, NASA Championships 2026 is September 24th through 27th at Sebring International Raceway. Prices increase on July 31st. Register now at www.nasachamps.com. You do not want to miss out on your chance to drive out there on this legendary track as we've continued seeing to show out here within Scott Adams Driver Development, NASA Texas Sim Racing World. John Stam up here in the booth, directing, producing, commentating the show. Here's a look at our race information, excuse me, our track information. That's, of course, a 3.7 mile this whole tracking on by, sitting at altitude just above sea level, 62 feet. Plenty of oxygen for these Toyota GR86 Cup car engines to work with 220 brake horsepower as well. Pit speed limits at about 45, but that's nothing to worry about. Here we'll take a look here at our race weather as well as we continue to drop the green flag on what should be the final race restart of tonight. Our air temp at shores, a cool, calm, collected. That feels great out there as far as Texas is concerned. 78-degree air temp, but the track temp a little bit higher, 94 degrees. These drivers are going to have to look to see what they have left up there within the virtual Pirelli machines out there underneath these Toyota GR86 Cup cars. It's Patrick Brunson, he'll qualify, or excuse me, he lines up P3. Billy Smith II lines up here P4. Andreas Rafana, Corey Elliott as well, rounding out that top 5, top 6. Mike Burris, Christopher Ramirez, Anthony Nguyen, Mike Ayacino. We're continuing to crest our way down out here live on Stam Studio Network for this NASA Texas Scott Adams Driver Development Sim Series. And as we continue to crest our way down out here through it, it's Edwin Onofre who leads us back into the green flag here on these Toyota GR86 Cup cars. Working our way up here through the gearbox, working our way up and through speeds. Heading up here turn 1, it's Scott Adams P2, Patrick Brunson P3, Billy Smith II, Andreas Rapana up there P5. Here comes a nice move down the inside line of Billy Smith II. That's up there looking there within turn 1. Can he make the pass happen? No, he'll have to concede the spot back within Brunson. It's the U.S. Money Reserves Golden Black Toyota GR86 Cup car. Real life driver as well. Final driver interview spot, working our way back up here through the gears. Next closest battle for side by side, and on back, it's contact there, as that's going to be Mike Burris who gets outside and up dirt within those tire tracks. Dirt equals loss of grip. Bermuda's contact with the left rear there. So does Anthony Nguyen after he tries to slice dice work his way through this pack. It's Edwin Onofre out and up front. There's even more contact between, I believe that was Nguyen and Boris. Onofre leading the Scott Adams Driver Development machine. Christian Janicki with slowdown penalty. Here comes Patrick Brunson, still sitting that third running spot, 4 spots gained since the drop of the green. Andreas Rafana, he's still there as well. Remember, folks, long way to go, long time to get there until we do what they say can't be done, and that's going to be to throw that white flag lap out there about 15 minutes time. It's going to be kind of a front 6-car breakaway out there, but all the way between Onofre separating Elliott down to 6. And here comes Mike Boris down there till about Mike Ayacino, which separates 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. Here comes the SimShop.com machine out there of the 622 of Christopher Ramirez. Christopher Ramirez kind of been the fastest driver out here of tonight, but within kind of the dirtier air out there mid-pack, as well as just kind of making these passes for position happen. It's easier said than done for Christopher. He's still continuing to sit that P8 spot. Here comes back and back for the race lead. Edwin Onofre with a 1-second gap, heading out there within turn 16 and turn 17. Scott Adams works his way back within P2. What a run for that Scott Adams Driver Development machine. Once again, turning racers into champions, both on and off the racetrack. Scott Adams back there within P2, although Edwin Onofre just sets the fastest lap of the race at a 2:21.6, almost a whole second faster than P2 on back. Here comes the battles for P3 and P4. It's there in between. Patrick Brunson outside, contact there. Billy Smith II gets a little bit deeper within the braking zone there. Contact with Patrick Brunson. He loosens him up. It's going to be a bump. It's going to be a run. Billy Smith II now within the final driver interview spot. quick look at this race replay here. Contact, a bump, and a run. Billy Smith says, hey, man, I am just here. I'm looking down the inside, and I'm going to door. I'm going to corner. I'll clear you. Headed back there within turns 4 and 5. Don't look now, but Corey Elliott, Andreas Rafana still duking it out here within this top 4th, 5th, and 6th battle. We're still, not missing anything out there up front. It's Edwin Onofre surging, begging for a 2-second gap now, as it's now set at 1.7 back to Scott Adams. Hopping on board with Corey Elliott now. It's back and through the chicane, back to turns 5, 6, and cutting up to 7. Billy Smith the second car up in front of him. Patrick Brunson right up there in front of Corey Elliott. Corey Elliott knows that he's running out of time because, hey, as we continue to crest this season on down, points are harder to come by than here with you would have ever believed it. Edwin Onofre, Scott Adams, Billy Smith the second, the 1, 2, 3, and as I was just mentioning there, here next thing here before you know it, it's all the way back in here through this 2026 here Scott Adams Driver Development Sim season. And next thing before you know, there's only 2, there's only 3, there's only 4 laps here within the season, or 4 races within the season. I don't think we're down here to just that just yet on Stam Studio Network, but you got to imagine out there within this whole season of coming down, it's definitely got to be getting close. There's the gap there headed into turn 16, the final 2 corners of the racetrack. Scott Adams, last lap by, almost a second slower, 0.8 of a second than Edwin Onofre. Edwin Onofre, we saw out there earlier on within Stam Studio Network. He saw within line, he typed within YouTube chat. He said that he was here to race. And with only 12 minutes left to go, man, Edwin Onofre continuing to stretch that gap, stretch those legs, and out up front, a 2-second gap now there as Scott Adams and Billy Smith the second start to do battle. As we compare the last 5 laps, last time here between P2 and P3 on board with Scott Adams. Lap 15 faster for Billy Smith the second. Lap 17, well, that was our caution flag lap, but then lap 19, 0.3 of the second faster. It has been continuing to grow as far as in concerns of favor of Billy Smith the second. We'll have a slowdown penalty out there for AJ McAllister this lap and on by, but still on board here with the battle for second and third. Not only are we on board here with the battles for the second and third, there goes, I believe that's Andreas Rafana, yeah, and Corey Elliott. A little bit of side by side on their side, no contact on their side. They're still going to look, though, too wide. Finally back to single file as they work their way back into the technical portion out here from Sebring International. Earlier braking goes a long way out here between these tighter portions of the racetrack. Andreas Rafana, he still gained 6 spots at the drop of the green, but I will add, that's exactly what I'm at. He has gained 6 spots at the drop of the green. Focusing on the left side of your screen, that's what you can see up there within the left side. There is also Billy Smith II, who's right up here within the front of this battle. He's been our biggest mover since the drop of the green flag. Edwin Onofre continues to sit pretty exactly where he started, but Billy Smith II, 7 spots gained. Unfortunately there, a slow down penalty given for the, I believe that was the Andreas Rafana machine. Andreas Rafana, he's going to, yeah, there you see that up within the live timing at the top left. That's exactly what that yellow rectangle means, right back and next to Andreas Rafana's name right there. It means that he had cut off a little bit of portion of the track and he's got to give it right on back. It looks like he has given up a spot back, but he hadn't quite given up the time. Excuse me, that's going to be Corey Elliott. No, I was right. Andreas Rafana still needed to give up that time out there within these final 10 minutes to go. Oh, and there you see it at the bottom right side of the screen. A black flag penalty given down there from that Andreas Rafana machine. He's going to continue to race out there, though, and we'll see if race admins can clear this black flag. But if not, this is going to be a heartbreaker here for Rafana. Remember, he comes here within this race P5 within the point standings. He has been there. He has done that. He has kind of been one of those drivers consistently here within these good runs throughout the season. Man, it's gonna really kill Andreas if he has to serve this black flag. We'll keep an eye on that up there. Just real quick, Edwin Onofre, Billy Smith II, Scott Adams continuing to run the 1, 2, 3. Final 9 more minutes to go. Scott Adams in the final driver interview spot, and then Scott Adams driver development machine. Patrick Brunson, now he's fallen back to P4, but he's still there. He's less than 0.2 of a second back as we hop on board here with Patrick Brunson. Let's take about a half a lap here around Sebring. Let's watch these hands. Let's listen to the throttle, listen to the brake pedal go to work. Welcome back out here to Stam Studio Network. You can crank it back down. Sean Stam directing, producing, commentating up here with you in the booth. How about Patrick Brunson? He had just made an immaculate pass out there over Scott Adams. That's Scott Adams, the man, the myth, the legend out of Scott Adams driver development. Patrick Brunson now within that final driver interview spot. Stick with us out here within that checkered flag margin as we'll be chatting with the top 3. Patrick Brunson now, he's able to kind of run away from that Scott Adams machine. Here's a quick look race replay at this pass. Excellent. I mean, this was kind of textbook pass out there outside of turn 16, heading into sunset out there on the 17 inside line. It'll be a door. It'll be a quarter and clear by about 5, 6 car lengths back. Brunson back up here within P3. Alrighty, it's Edwin Otterfree who leads him down and into the hairpin. Billy Smith, the second P2. Patrick Brunson, Scott Adams, Anthony Nguyen. We got Andreas Rafana, Corey Elliott, Christopher Bermudez, Mike Burris, and Mike Iacino running at the 9th and 10th positions. This is battles, the Mike and Mike show going at it for that 9th and 10th spots as we continue to crest our way about 6, call it 5 minutes ago until our final white flag lap flies out here from the virtual Sebring International Raceway. What a race it continues to be out here throughout between the whole pack. Edwin Otterfree, Billy Smith the second. That's the battle for the race lead. Patrick Brunson, Scott Adams out there kind of going for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. A slowdown penalty given for Kristen as we still have Andreas Rafana, Corey Elliott, and here's this battle on screen now. Hopping back on board with Mike Burris as he tries to close the gap out there within the more technical section. Christopher Bermudez, 0.4 of a second up in front. Goodness gracious, look at those 3D rendered rumble strips right there. It's right side tires up and into the air right. You're gonna need the tires onto the racetrack to at least try to make some grip up there and at least try to close that gap up in front. But Bermudez, he's gonna lock for a little bit of more a squishy setup underneath of him there. And although it is squishier, he is gonna close that gap up to Corey Elliott up and in front of him. Corey Elliott sitting 10th within the point standings. He's continued to have also these consistent runs throughout these point season races. Corey Elliott 7th right now, 3 spots gained since the drop of the green flag. Let's see if he can make his way up here within at least the top 3, as that's our driver interview spots. Man, oh man, Billy Smith the second. Whoa, he'll turn that Toyota GR86 into a lawnmower there. Maybe not a lawnmower, but a dust mower there. Billy Smith the second. Man, he's going to lose 2, 3, 4/10 of a second. Now Patrick Brunson is once again right back on that rear bumper of that second running spot. Edwin Otterfree still 2.3 seconds within the race lead, but right now battles continue to heat up within 2nd, 3rd, and then really 5th, 6th, and 7th on back. Don't forget, we got that final driver interview spot as well, within about that third running spot. Patrick Brunson in that spot now, as he's not really been able to close the gap up there to Billy Smith II after surpassing now Scott Adams. Scott Adams, though, it looks like he's even more on more offense now, as the defense in the tank, well, it got back, next car back, 4.3 back to Anthony Nguyen. We're continuing to run out of time, but these drivers are they know that they are continuing to run out of time, and they also know that they are continuing to maybe make a little bit of a closer of a position spot happen. Corey Elliott, Mike Burress, Christopher Bermudez. This is also battles for 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th on the racetrack. I mean, there's nowhere safe from Sebring International Raceway as they continue. I mean, tenths of a second apart. Look at them out here. Head through turn 13, 14, and 15 out there. Corey Elliott, he goes so wide, he's going to have to take the slowdown penalty there after trying to make the pass over Andreas Rafana. Andreas Rafana, he's actually going to gain one spot up there as Christopher Bermudez. He'll go wide in the 622, as does Corey Elliott in the 17. Corey Elliott given the black flag penalty. Will he have to serve that penalty within virtual pit lane, or will it be enough for him to just slow down and woe down and give that time right on back? Still up here within the front 1, 2, and 3 as the white flag left waves loud and proud. A 2.5 second gap. Edwin Onofre over Billy Smith II. Patrick Brunson about 0.6 of a second back. 2.5 seconds back is Billy Smith II. There's the front 1, 2, 3, and 4. Scott Adams, driver development. Scott Adams is barely hanging on that 4th running spot. Anthony Nguyen, a whole 5 seconds back. So here for Edwin Onofre, he just has to hit his corners. He just has to hit his apexes. He just has to hit his apex and exits, most importantly there. Patrick Brunson Billy Smith II, Billy Smith II, he comes into this race searching, needing some points headed his way, finally making it back out here within the virtual racing track. Billy Smith II still running P2. Can he finish in that 2nd running spot over Patrick Brunson? Patrick Brunson, he comes into this race 7th in the point standings. Patrick Brunson, he's still got Scott Adams out there on his rear bumper. There's still a long ways to go. There's a long time to get there. It's still about 1.5 more miles until the checkered flag flies loud and proud on that Edwin Onofre machine. Patrick Brunson, his last lap by was a 2:22.5, only 0.3 of a second slower than our race leader Scott Adams, 2:22.45, 0.2 of a second slower. But as I continue to say it, man, you are just running out of time within these final few laps to go. Final lap to go this time, and final straightaway. Billy Smith II continued to try to close the gap, 0.8 of a second back. Patrick Brunson and Scott Adams, driver development. He's up to the P4 after gaining 2 spots as the drop of the green. Is it going to be enough? Here comes Edwin Onofre breaking the slipstream, breaking the draft, not by weaving and driving, but just by about how much of gap that he has. How about you, Edwin Onofre? What was almost back-to-back in NASA, Texas, Scott Adams Driver Development Sim Series? Well, he'll visit virtual victory lane. It's Edwin Onofre out here tonight at Sebring International Raceway on Stam Studio Network. Edwin Onofre wins it. Billy Smith II, Patrick Brunson, Scott Adams, and Anthony Nguyen. That'll be the front 5. Bermudez, Rafana, Corey Elliott, Mike Burress, Mike Iacino, Daniel Parmalee, AJ McAllister, Christian Janicki, rounding out the top 13. Stick with us here on Stay On Studio Network. You're not going to want to miss a thing. We'll be chatting with about our top 3 driver interviews, and now we'll be looking at our unofficial, official race results. Congratulations to Edwin Onofre, Billy Smith II, Patrick Brunson with the 1, 2, 3. Chat with them here in just a few moments' time. Stick with us on Sam Studio Network. Hey, Edwin, man, it's Sean Sam down here in Virtual Victory Lane. Got yourself a copy.
Yes, I do. Loud and clear.
Well, Edwin, man, somehow, some way, walk us through it, that Tech Sport Toyota GR86 Cup car machine. You led just about, if not every single lap here tonight from Sebring. How'd you make it happen tonight, man? Lights out pace. You were on rails, Edwin.
Thank you, Sean. Yeah, I cannot believe it because we had a very good first and second stints of the race. The first and second, thirds of the race. Yeah, we had pretty good battles right there. I was trying to keep it nice and clean, not to scrub out my tires too much because that really played out a factor at the end because my rear was just sliding a lot. But yeah, I did like the fact that it was very sketchy, but we had some good battles around there too. And actually, I was slowing down a bit during the first stint because I thought I was going to be overfueled. I actually thought I had less fuel. Sorry. I thought I had less fuel, and I was worried that I was not going to be able to finish this race. So I went up and saved a little bit, but I kind of figured that as the race progressed, yes, we had the competition caution, so that alleviated some of the fuel burning. And yeah, I can't believe it. I don't know how, but I do appreciate the entire competition for keeping it nice and clean. And yeah, that was, like I said, that was a lot of fun.
Man, Edwin, GT Eddie couldn't have done out there without you out there within the virtual racetrack and virtual victory lane. Who'd you like to thank out? Who'd you like to shout out here tonight on this hot track surface, as you were mentioning? Tires started to go away, 94-degree track temp, Edwin.
I'd like to thank you, Sean Stan. Thank you for producing the series and broadcasting it as well as commentating. I really appreciate that. And I'd like to also thank Scott Adams for this little league of ours that we can go ahead and compete every week and go ahead and have a little bit of fun while also representing for NASA, Texas. And I'd like to shout out Tech Sport Racing and the Tech Sport Sim team for everything they have done for me and representing Tech Sport Racing overall. And one thing, I've also noticed that we also have affiliation with Velocity Sim Racing Lounge, which is actually where I work at the new location in Dallas. So if anybody's interested, they can go ahead and check it out, and I can tell them all about Velocity Sim Racing Lounge.
Hey man, Edwin, that's pretty sweet. You finally got the Velocity Sim Racing out there up in the big Dallas instead of just the big Houston. Edwin, we appreciate you, man. Hopefully you have a great rest of your night. And you heard it here from the man, the myth himself, the legend. Congratulations on the race win, Edwin.
Thank you, and see you next week.
Hey, Sean, let's interview Brunson here real quick because he's our main sponsor here.
I got you, Scott. Hey, how about you, Brunson? You got yourself a copy?
Yep.
Well, Patrick, walk us through your race here tonight here real quick. It's another P3 finish on the season, another great podium finish here for you.
I mean, not a lot to walk through other than the fact that I think I finally found a setup that works. And I know that we've been working a lot to try and find the right setup. And I think I finally found the one that works. And I think when we let some of the other drivers try the same setup, they're going to find the same thing.
Well, Patrick, it's a lot of fun to see that thing dialed out there into you. What do you think it's more? Is it the downforce? Is it the shocks? Is it the suspension doing the work? Or is it mostly the driver back behind the rail?
It's the tires. All about the tires. Every bit of it.
Well, Patrick, we appreciate you kind of breaking it down there for us out there from back and behind the scenes. Patrick, who you shouting out to? You thinking out here tonight on the podium finish?
Definitely thanking NASA Texas, Scott Adams, driver development. I've been working with him for years. Haven't gotten this quick without him, and I'm starting to really see it in real life racing. And next season's going to be pretty awesome. Let's see you guys see that one.
Hey, Patrick, great to watch you out here every single Tuesday night. Great to finally catch up out here with you real life racing at Circuit of the Americas a couple of months ago. Patrick, man, best of luck here with you within the rest of your GR86 Cup car season. Oh, it just ended. Alrighty, well, that's gonna wait. No, that's not gonna do it out here for us tonight on Stam Studio Network, because don't go anywhere here just yet, because we have to go from the drop of the green flag up and until about until the drop of the checkered flag as far as incidents are concerned, because I'll be honest here with you, there's been once, twice, thrice here, there's been a couple of times where I just feel like I have quite frankly missed out on 1, 2, 3 incidents. So really quick, I'm gonna go take just a quick breakout here within the booth, and I'll be back here within just a few moments time. Here's gonna be a look at within the lap, the drop of the green flag. Don't go anywhere. Sean Stam here on Stam Studio Network. After we are finished up here tonight, that's right, I'll be right back here with you. We're gonna break down this whole race replay. Alrighty, apologize for the brief delay there, but here we're going to go kind of in chronological order here since the drop of the green flag. And I do apologize if there was any incidents like that we're about to see that I did miss, but there's just so much going on out here within the virtual racing world out there that here's going to be Corey Elliott. This was in the drop of the green flag. It's a little bit off the racetrack there, but no contact with the outside wall. That's why no replay was given, no replay was taken. Here's going to be another race replay. This was also lap 1, lap 2 of the race. Mark Curley, I think it's coming around there to complete the first lap. It's just a slight move out around to the outside grass out there. No real contact, no real time lost. Next race replay and on up, it's going to be David Finkelstein. He was running in about 14th, 13th spot when this happened. Oh, holy cow, man, that is way too deep through Sunset. He's going to make some heavy contact with those tire barriers. Let's hop on board with the virtual driver eye camera shot, see what David saw. Just a little bit too deep. The car is just not wanting to turn. Next race replay, this one's going to be Corey Elliott. And for those of you maybe just supposedly just now joining in, well, this is Stam Studio Network After Dark. This is a look at our race replay after the conclusion of the race. It's going to be Corey Elliott, who maybe did he have contact out there over Daniel Parmalee? Let's see out there. So here comes the switchback heading here to turn 3. Parmalee looks down the inside, contact the left rear quarter panel there, sends Corey Elliott off of the racetrack, but then you'll see Daniel Parmalee, he gets kind of off of the gas, gives that spot right back. Corey Elliott finishes P7 tonight. Here comes AJ McAllister as well as driver 63 down the inside there. Whoa, Mark Curley and AJ McAllister, right? That is right there and in front of when Daniel Parmalee had gone off the racetrack after his contact. And remember, this was just going out of here for the race lead. I believe that's going to be the number 70 of Billy Smith II, I want to say. Or yeah, I believe that was so. Yeah. Billy Smith II, unfortunately not able to catch up with them after the virtual driver interviews, but Billy Smith II somehow, some way finishing P2. Mark Curley, he also goes off the racetrack just a couple laps later. Let's hop on board here with Mark. Whoa! Oh! I started watching Sopranos. Yeah, that's why it's SSN After Dark. I started watching The Sopranos, and that's all I hear. Oh, ho, ho. Well, ho, out here from on board again with Mark Curley as we hop on with the driver eye camera shot. This was outside just a little bit deep out there through turn. Is that 14, excuse me. Just a little bit off and off of the racetrack and into the tire, dirt, and debris. Mark Curley, he does live to fight another day. Here's Kristen Janik, another off-track penalty, if not wreck out here for Kristen. Oh, it's a little bit too deep throughout the corner there. She'll go off the racetrack there just a little bit, driver number 20. And shout out the driver numbers there. That's an easy one to see on here in the broadcast booth. Kristen Shu will finish up here P14 tonight. And as far as the checkered flag goes, well, here's a look at our unofficial, official race results. Okay, I thought that was it, but we'll have to roll with that here tonight. It'll be Edwin Honor-Free, Billy Smith II, Patrick Brunson, Scott Adams, Anthony Nguyen, Andreas Rafana, Corey Elliott, Christopher Bermudez, as well as Mike Barras, Mike Ayasino, Daniel Parmalee. That'll be the top 11. Mark Curley, AJ McAllister, and Kristen Janicki there. We appreciate once again all of our sponsors and affiliates out there on STAM Studio Network, as well as each and every single one of you out there joining on this wonderful Tuesday evening. From GT Eddie to Kristen hauling the mail. Great race, guys. Excited to finally join you. And Ted up there within YouTube land. And then from the bottom of my heart on STAM Studio Network, I sincerely appreciate you, each and every single one of you. And join me tonight on STAM Studio Network as I'll be bringing you some Full Throttle Performance Cup Series live from Indy Motor Speedway. Congratulations to Edwin Honor-Free, Billy Smith II, Patrick Brunson with the 1, 2, 3. It's Sean Stam on STAM Studio Network. Have a great, great rest of your night.